Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to another video. As you can tell, I am in fact back on the Shadowlands PTR. Unfortunately, I don't have access to the beta right now, but doesn't matter nonetheless because essentially Shadowlands is around the corner, so I'll be able to do content on that as soon as it releases, so I can't wait for that. But as you can tell by the title of this video though, I'm going to be breaking down, giving my opinion on Affliction Warlocks right now on the Shadowlands PTR in PvP. So I will mention some PvE points, but this is essentially a PvP video. And also I want to break down the new spells, talents, and PvP talents that obviously have been implemented into the game. So I really do hope you enjoy it. And as you can tell though, we are Mr. Pandaria in Vale of the Eternal Blossoms in Shrine of the Seven Stars. The reason to why I'm here is because I wanted to get that nostalgia of playing Mr. Pandaria PvP, and I hope that Shadowlands is similar to Mr. Pandaria in the sense that the PvP is phenomenal. But to jump into things, guys, the first thing I want to talk to you about is in fact the level squish. So the level squish, as you know, in BFA right now, the level cap is 120, right? And essentially, what Blizzard have done is they're like, you know what? Instead of it being 120, we're going to half it, cut it in half. Your 120 character is now going to be level 50. Then you level that character up to 60. So they basically cut the level in half, and now you can level to 60. I absolutely love this. My HP is now 27k with Demon Armor on, which is nice. I like that number. I like the fact that it's low health instead of, you know, being at like 700k with Demon Armor on, right? Which was in like BFA. I really like that. The only slight issue I have with this, it's not a big issue or nothing like that, so don't get me wrong. I think Blizzard have done a fantastic job. It's just that for a new player, for their perspective, Classic WoW, the max level 60, and then Shadowlands, the max level is going to be 60. So a new player might not be able to distinguish between the two games. I know for all the players who've played both of the games, definitely can, because there's different UIs, right? And the games are just really different. But for a new player, they might find it a little bit hard. Plus, one weird thing is that when BC actually hits, the level cap in BC is going to be level 70, which is higher than Live WoW. I know you shouldn't really compare the two games because they're two separate games, but I just find that kind of interesting and quite funny, to be honest. But guys, we're going to jump straight into it. I want to talk to you about the spells first, and then I'll probably jump into the talents. So we're going to jump right into it. I'll talk to you about the three specialization spells that are tied to those three specializations, rather than going straight into the spec-specific spells for Affliction. Does that make sense? So I'd rather go through the generic spells that are tied to all three specializations rather than hopping straight into the Affliction specialization and talking about that. So basically, I want to sum up my thoughts on this and talk about the spells that I think are most beneficial for all three specializations and the new spells that have been added into the game. So Corruption, now you can actually use a spell for Destro, Demo, and Affliction. I actually see this being a really good change, and I'm really excited to try this out for Demo and Destro, because obviously as Affliction, this was one of your main damage dealing abilities for your dots. Did a lot of damage, but now you can obviously use it for the other two specializations as well, and I find that this is quite unique and cool, so I can't wait to try this out. The slight issue I have with Corruption though, is that I don't know if I can see it working with Destro and Demo. What I mean by that is, maybe in a PvE standpoint on bosses it could be good, but in a PvP scenario, I don't really see it working too much. I'll talk about it in a second, but Destro is a soul shard spending class. Specialization, sorry. What I mean by this is that they generate their soul shards and then they spend the soul shards on care spell and they rinse and repeat. I don't think they're going to have time to put Corruption into their rotation. So I think it's kind of like an ability where if the enemy's running behind a pillar, you can just obviously keep them in combat, stop them from drinking, and just try and rot them down behind the pillar while you're trying to close the distance. So I can see it working then, and maybe on boss fights. Same with Demo though. Demo's kind of like similar to Destro in the sense that you build up your soul shards, you spend it on Hand of Gul'dan, and then you spend that on Tyrant, therefore getting the big Tyrant. So I don't know, I can see it working more with Demo, but not so much with Destro. Let me know what you think on Corruption, but I still think it's a solid change nonetheless, so great job to Blizzard for obviously doing that. I'm really excited though, we now have curses back. Curses, if you don't know what they are, they used to be PvP talents, different curses. We used to have Curse of Tongues and Curse of Weakness and Curse of Shadows, and you used to be able to select those in the PvP talents, and each curse did something different. So Curse of Weakness, I'll talk about Curse of Weakness first. So basically what this does is increases the time between an enemy's attacks by 20% for 2 minutes. Kind of similar to like the BFA one and everything like that. And then you obviously have Curse of Tongues, which basically increases the casting time of all spells by 30% for 30 seconds. Again, similar to the live version, which is obviously good too. But now, instead of you actually having to go and spec into these curses, you get them baseline for all 3 specs. Absolutely phenomenal. Thank you, Blizzard. But I'm going to talk to you about Curse of Exhaustion first. So what this is, some people probably have never seen this spell before, but if you played Warlock for a long time, you know exactly what this is. It reduces the enemy's movement speed by 50% for 8 seconds. So this could be really good for both PvE and PvP. But the only problem is, so just to note, obviously, before the people, like if you want to play Affliction or Destro or Demo, you can only have 1 curse on 1 target at one time. What I mean by this is, say if I want Curse of Exhaustion and Curse of Weakness on 1 target, I can't do that. It's either one or the other. However, you can have multiple curses up at the same time. For example, I'll put Curse of Exhaustion on this target. Say he's my Arena 1. Then my Arena 2 I can put Weakness on. And therefore, I have 2 curses on at once. So it's pretty good. But just note that obviously you can't have 2 curses on 1 target, if that makes sense. So it's really good though. I think that each curse is going to be beneficial in their own way. Certain situations it's going to call for like Curse of Tongues or Curse of Exhaustion or Curse of Weakness. For example, you're against melee, you probably want to use Exhaustion or Weakness just to obviously slow them down and maybe reduce their attacks. So could be really nice against rogues to prevent their opener and everything. Like say for example, you could Trinket Wall into a weakness. That therefore, when they pop Vendetta and everything, they're just going to be slower to get their attacks off. So it's quite good. So each one does something different. Obviously, Tongues reduces movement speed. Sorry. Exhaustion reduces movement speed. Tongues increases your casting time, so it allows you to get more CC off, more dots off at a given time. And Weakness obviously reduces the enemy's attack speed by 20%, basically. So it's really, really nice. I think that all 3 are going to be situational. Curse of Tongues is going to be so good, man. I think it's going to be really nice because in PvE and PvP, because it allows you to get your CC out a lot quicker, because it increases your casting time, allows you to ramp up your dots a lot quicker, and it also allows you to get out all of your spells that much faster when it comes to trying to do damage. And in my opinion, I think that's really beneficial right now, because Affliction, it seems like there's so much you have to do in regards to casting. There's so much casting right now, and I just think that this helps out with it, because you have Unstable Affliction, which you have to cast. You have Malefic Rapture, which you have to cast. You also have Shadow Bolt, if you want to play that. You have Drain Life, which you have to cast. You have Fear, which you have to cast. There's just so much going on for an Affliction Warlock that Curse of Tongues is actually quite vital, and I'm really happy that they brought this into the game. Another thing I'm really excited for, though, guys, is Demonic Circle. If you don't know what Demonic Circle is, we now have this baseline. Put a portal on the ground, and then you can teleport to it. So it basically means that Warlocks now have a ton of mobility. For example, I'll showcase this to you. Say a warrior charges me right now, right? I can then use my portal. Say he heroic leaps to me. I can use my gateway, and then I can put the distance a lot further between me and him. And then I can actually start ramping up my dots or doing my CC. And then I can be, that much better because he won't have any mobility effect to use, which is really, really nice and just allows me to stop fatal damage that is on me and just trying to get topped off by my healer. So it's actually really, really beneficial. Now this works really solid when you compare it with Gateway Mastery, because Gateway Mastery obviously increases the radius of your gateway, and it also reduces the cooldown of your gateway. So instead of it being like a, what is it? I think it's like a 2-minute cooldown, as in like 2 minutes before you can use the next gateway. I think it reduces it to like a 1 minute 45. Could be wrong, but it just allows it to be that much better. And I think, not entirely sure, so I don't want to get this wrong, but there might be a thing like a legendary in Shadowlands that allows you to use your gateway twice. Could be wrong, but I've seen people use their gateway twice. It could just be built into a spec or a covenant or something, but really nice. Speaking of covenants as well, I know this isn't the beta, but if you go with, I think it's Venthyr, or no, Necrolord or Venthyr, it's one of the two. You can use a portal, which allows you to teleport as well. So imagine having that portal, you teleport, you use your, then they charge you, you use your portal, and then you use your gateway. Warlocks have so much mobility, I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, so I can't wait for that. Talking about other spells though, for all 3 specs, you have Foul Domination. I can't wait for this actually. It doesn't really seem that important, but I actually think it might be a spell that has quite a high skill cap, potentially. I could be wrong. It's an instant cast, 3-minute cooldown. Your next Imp, Voidwalker, Succubus, Foul Hunter, or Foul Guard summon spell has its casting time reduced by 5.5 seconds. So at the moment, it kind of seems like Blizzard have increased the summon time on your pets. So each pet, as I'm aware now, has a 4.3 second cast. So it just takes a while to summon your pets. But I actually think this is a good change. It just means that when you're in Arena, when you're in the Battleground, when you're in PvP, if they kill your pet, if you're not playing Grim of Sacrifice, then it just means that you can't really get the situation to actually get your pet back up. I actually think that's really good. I don't know if it's the same with Hunters as well. I really do hope so. But I just feel like that's a really good change. If I've killed the enemy's pet, I don't want them to be able to instantly resummon it, because all my dots and everything I just spent into killing that pet has been wasted for basically nothing, right? Because they can instantly summon it back. So what Foul Domination actually allows you to do, right, is get a instant, basically an instant cast on summoning a pet. For example, say you're against, I don't know, you're against Holy Paladin, Arms Warrior, Demon Hunter, right? Say you're against them, and you accidentally have your Foul Hunter out for whatever reason. You're like, oh no, I should have had my Succubus out. But say the enemy's healing, right? What you can do is you can spell lock them, use your Foul Domination, swap to your Succubus, and then Pet Charm. So I can actually see it being quite a high skill cap, because say there's a situation where you want to get CC out immediately, just like that. What you can do is quickly switch to your different pet and use their ability, and then they can then CC the enemy for you. So in my opinion, it could be a nice little spell, maybe for like World PvP you could test it on. Maybe like you're against like a Fire Mage, they're casting G-Pie or something, you kick them with your Foul Hunter ability, then you quickly swap to your Succubus, Pet Charm them, and then you kill them. That could be a cool idea. So, although it's not the biggest spell, and definitely not the most beneficial, I actually think it could be quite good. Ritual of Doom's nothing, as I'm aware. I think that's just from Legion, so don't worry about that. I could be wrong, but I swear that's from Legion. And then also, obviously, we have the standard abilities like Shadow Fury, etc. Subjugate Demon, that's just basically you controlling a demon above a certain level. And that is it for the 3 spec specific, well, general spells, sorry. So, actually pretty good. There's some ones that I really like Demonic Circle, the Curses, and obviously Foul Domination could be good. I think the small changes that Blizzard have done are actually really, really solid, and I actually thank them for that, so really do appreciate it. Going into the Affliction specific ones though, we have the standard spells, but we now have Malefic Rapture. This is a spell everybody has been talking about when it comes to content on Affliction Warlocks in the beta right now. It's a new spell, cost a soul shard, 1.1 second cast. If I read it out to you guys, your damaging periodic effects erupt on all targets within line of sight, causing 245 shadow damage per effect. Obviously, this is going to change depending on your level, the amount of shadow damage it does. But what Blizzard have wanted to do, instead of you being able to spam 5 unstable afflictions at one given time on one target, and then the enemy being able to cleanse it and then you feeling really bad because you just wasted your burst, what they've done now is they're like, alright, Unstable Affliction, you only can cast it once on one target. You only can have one up at one given time, but Malefic Rapture is going to allow you to AoE everybody down like more. What I mean by this, so if I just sum it up, I explained that a little bit poorly, I do apologise. So the more dots you have, the more your Malefic Rapture is going to hit. Let's just talk about Malefic Rapture right now instead of Unstable Affliction. So Agony and Corruption everyone. I'll do that right now. Alright. Use my Grim of Sacrifice as well. If I Malefic Rapture, look at this. See, all three people are taking about 1,021 damage, non-critical hits. So basically, what this does is the targets you have your dots on, and if they're in line of sight, if you use that Malefic Rapture, it's basically going to cause your dots to explode, technically dealing damage to everybody with the dots on. Does that make sense? So everybody who's in your line of sight and you have dots on them, they're going to take a load of shadow damage. So every time you use a spell. Really nice. I think it's going to allow you to rot the enemy down a lot more. And that's obviously what BFA struggled with in regards to Affliction. I felt that dot damage wasn't solid enough to the point where you can do a load of damage. Whereas Malefic Rapture is actually going to help you with that because you can actually chunk their HP down quite fast. If you play with a Shadow Priest as well, it could be the new meta, you never know. So I actually can't wait to try this out. Also, we have Unstable Affliction. So basically, what this is, they've changed it now, which is quite decent. So you can only have one Unstable Affliction up at one time. But, so basically, they wanted to eliminate the fact that people used to spam 5 Unstable Afflictions on one target for burst, and then the healer or themselves just either reflected it, or they cleansed it, and then you wasted your whole entire burst. So, they have also introduced a PvP talent. Unstable Affliction can now be applied to up to 3 targets. So if you don't play this, you only can use 1 Unstable Affliction, whereas if you play the PvP talent, you can actually use 3 Unstable Afflictions, but spread across the board. For example, if I want to use 2 Unstable Afflictions on this guy, I'm not going to be able to. But if I want to use an Unstable Affliction on these 3, I can, because I'm playing that PvP talent. See? Now I have Unstable Affliction on 3 targets. But if I want to put it on 2 on one target, I can. It just refreshes that 1 Unstable Affliction that on that target. In my opinion, this is a solid change. I actually like it a lot. So I think that's going to obviously work a lot better in PvP, because it's just more reward, because if they dispel your dots, then you only have 1 Unstable Affliction to cast and to reapply your other dots, so that's all you lose out on, rather than spending 5 soul shards on Unstable Affliction and then it going really bad, right? So I actually think it's a solid change, and obviously Unstable Affliction no longer costs a soul shard. How about that? It's pretty cool. So I really like that change. Only problem is, I can kind of seeing it get a bit repetitive, because it was kind of repetitive spamming your UA, but now it's going to be kind of repetitive in the fact that you're spamming Malefic Rapture. So it depends how you want to look at it. I think it's a solid change nonetheless. We also have Shadow Embrace. What this does is, it used to be a talent. Basically, every time your Shadow Belt and Haunt applies Shadow Embrace, it increases your damage dealt to the target by 3%, stacking up to 3 times. So every time you use Shadow Belt, every time you use Haunt, you're going to get a damage increase on that target, stacking up to 9%, which is 3 times. I think this is just PvE though, because realistically there's so much to cast in PvP right now that I don't think you're going to be casting Shadow Bolt much. Unless you play Haunt instead of Grim of Sacrifice, then obviously it's going to work a little bit better in your favour, and I actually think it could be quite solid. So all depends. If you want that increase in damage, which you don't really need to be fair, then you can play Haunt if you want your pet as well, but it all depends on what you want to go. But guys, I'm going to talk about talents now, and basically you can compare them to the BFA talents. This is going to be an extremely long video, so I do apologise, but I just want to talk about everything. Level 15 talents, we have the choice of Nightfall, Inevitable Demise, and Drain Soul. Just to note though, this isn't going to be accurate, because at the moment, corruptions are greyed out, which is great, but for some reason I still have my essences, and I still have my traits. So in Shadowlands, you won't have corruptions, essences, or traits, or artifact power, or whatever now. It's all going to be gone. So if I show you inevitable demise damage, just note that I have ×3 inevitable demise traits, so my damage is going to be inconsistent and overtuned, so obviously just to note in regards to that. But if you compare these 15 talents to the BFA ones, the BFA ones is Nightfall, Drain Soul, and Deathbolt. So Inevitable Demise has actually replaced Deathbolt. Deathbolt is now a PvP talent on a 0.72 second cast. That's right, Deathbolt now has a cast time on a 45 second cooldown. I really don't like this. Deathbolt was already inconsistent in the fact that it never hit for like the same. You could have all your dots up, right, and it could hit for like 1k, then you could hit for like 100k. Didn't make sense, it's a bit inconsistent. But now there's a actual cast time to this, and I don't like it. Because as I'm aware, I heard somebody in the stream, they could be wrong, I could be wrong, who knows. I'm just going off of what I heard. I should know this anyway, but I'm not like the most like competitive PvP player or anything like that, right? I just play to have fun, and I also PvP, which hand in hand obviously makes sense. And I've been playing Warlock since BC. But apparently I heard that Warlocks are like the only class, or one of the only classes, maybe there's more, who only have one, it might be just be Affliction, who only have one school type. What I mean by this, if you get kicked on Shadow School, so like your Shadow Bolt for example, then you won't be able to use any of your abilities because everything's related to Shadow. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Deathbolt Shadow as well. So if you got kicked on Deathbolt as well, you won't be able to use anything. So I don't see really why you would use Deathbolt, but I could see it being okay in some situations, right, for a finisher. But overall, I'm not really sure how I feel like about this. Like, if it was just an instant cast, it'd be fine. I'd probably spec into it, but because there's a cast time, I don't know, I might not spec into it because you don't have haste stamps anymore or anything, so you would have to have high haste to actually get benefit out of that. But Inevitable Demise, guys, if you don't know what this is, basically every time your Agony does damage, it increases your Drain Life damage, stacking up to 50 times. But like I said, don't forget I'm playing the Inevitable Demise trait, so you're going to see 2 stacks of this, so it stack up to 100 times. Don't worry, the damage is going to be inconsistent. Don't worry about that. I just want to basically explain what the concept does, basically what the spell does. So, Agony on everything. As you can see, top right hand side of my corner, there's 2. There'll only be 1 on the live version of Shadowlands, so don't worry about that, because obviously traits are going to be removed. Here we go, I want to show you the damage. So, if I use damage now, it's 1.7k ticks. Usually it will be less, because obviously I've got essences, I've got everything that's going to amplify this, but overall, these 3 talents are really significant. They haven't really changed much other than Deathbolt's gone and Inevitable Demise is now in there, which I actually think is a solid change, and I respect Blizzard for doing this, it's great. But I could see some situations where you probably want to swap between all 3 of these, and Nightfall could definitely be good too, which is great. Level 25 talents, there's no really change going on here other than that Rising Agony now ramps up to 18 stacks rather than 15. I don't know why they chose to ramp it up to 18 and not 20, but yet again, I think this is a really good change. It just means your Agony is going to deal more damage. I actually might play Rising Agony over Absolute Corruption now, but we will see when Shadowlands hits. Maybe I will experiment with all 3 of these and try different builds, but overall, it's kind of similar to the live version in the sense that Rising Agony, Absolute Corruption, and Siphon Life are in fact their level 30 talents in live WoW, and their level 25 talents in Shadowlands. So pretty decent here, or at least on the PTR. Level 30 talents, you've got Demon Skin, Burning Rush, and Dark Pact. Again, the same exact talents. In live WoW, Demon Skin, Burning Rush, and Dark Pact are in the level, 45 talents. So again, it's the same exact talents. Same with the level 35 talents. In live WoW, they're the level 60 talents. So the Seeds, Phantom Singularity, Veil Taint. Probably use Phantom Singularity for PvP, and then Veil Taint for PvE. Level 40 talents, again, kind of the same to live WoW. You see what I'm getting at? Although these are really solid changes, and I really look forward to playing Affliction, I also see that not much has really changed in regards to talents. Talents have kind of stayed the same, and I would have liked to see the whole Affliction spec be reworked, because Affliction, you know, for the whole of BFA, although it was really nice in PvE, PvP it wasn't really good at all, right? Literally one of the worst classes, specs in my opinion, in BFA PvP, and it's definitely one of the least played in PvP for a fact. So definitely, obviously I don't have statistics to prove that, but I can definitely imagine that nobody wanted to play Affliction considering Destro was the OP spec and everybody went to that. However though, they have in fact replaced, what did they replace here? So we got Dark Fury, Mortal Coil and Howl of Terror. So they replaced Demonic Circle, so we have Demonic Circle baseline. So Blizzard have now put in Howl of Terror. If you don't know what this is, I used to love it. In Mr. Pandera, it was absolutely awesome. Pretty sure that was expansion where it was in. 1.1 second cast though, 40-second cooldown. Any enemy that's in 10 yards of you, you basically use this and it fears everybody in 10 yards. So it's really good. It used to be an instant cast, but for some reason it's on a 1.1 second cast time. I would have loved to see this to be instant, because then I think you would actually pick it in some situations over Mortal Coil. But because Mortal Coil is instant, and it gives you 20% of your maximum health, and obviously, you know, makes someone be incapacitated for 3 seconds, and it's on a 45-second cooldown, I don't really see why you would play Howl of Terror unless you're going against like a DK or somebody who has loads of pets on you. So, in my opinion, Mortal Coil is still really strong. Howl of Terror, maybe it could be good, but I would have loved to see it on an instant cast. Level 45 talents, you have Dark Cooler, Haunt, and Grim of Sacrifice. Obviously, in Live WoW, you have Shadow Embrace, Haunt, and then Grim of Sacrifice. So, Dark Cooler has now replaced Shadow Embrace, but don't forget, Shadow Embrace is a Affliction-specific passive spell now that obviously gives you a damage increase, which is great. Dark Cooler though. Dark Cooler is a new talent that reduces summon Dark Glare cooldown by 60 seconds. So basically, it just obviously reduces the cooldown of your Dark Glare, which is great. But if we had this in BFA, I could actually see it being quite decent. Now, obviously, I'm talking about Shadowlands, but there's traits and everything. Every time you use your Unstable Affliction, it reduces the cooldown of your Dark Glare. And I can see it working with like Vision of Perfection and stuff like that. But I don't want to obviously confuse you guys. But overall, Dark Glare could actually, like this Dark Cooler one, could be decent. I don't know if it's decent enough over Haunt and Grim of Sacrifice. I don't think it will be. Grim of Sacrifice is very, very strong, especially when trying to do mass AoE to the target. In PvE, I reckon people's going to play Haunt or Grim of Sac. In PvP, it's going to be the exact same in my opinion. Grim of Sacrifice, just going to allow you to get so much AoE pressure out, especially with Malefic Rapture now. Literally, you're going to be doing so much spread pressure. I really, really can't wait to try this out. Then Haunt would be good for single target, so all depends on what you want to go. And obviously, if you use Haunt, you're going to get the Shadow Embrace buff. So, going to work out like a charm. Level 50 talents, you've got Soul Conduit, Creeping Death, and Dark Soul Misery. Again, it's the same like BFA, so nothing's changed here. In my opinion, I think Creeping Death or Dark Soul is going to be the go-to. I've heard that Creeping Death isn't as beneficial anymore, and just Dark Soul's the way to go. Personally, this is the build I'm probably going to be playing, not going to lie. I think this is the build I might play, maybe swap to Haunt at some occasions, and maybe Absolute Corruption. But overall, this is probably going to be it. If I go the Absolute Corruption build, I might play Nightfall, but this is what I like. Big burst build, and that's definitely what I'm going to be going. So basically, all depends on what you want to go, but I haven't really seen too many changes in the talents so far. Literally just a couple, which I would have liked to see more. Now, PvP talents, you notice straight off the bat. There's no Gladiator's Medallion, Adaptation, or what's the other one called? Adaptation, Gladiator's Medallion, and then you also have Relentless. That's the one. That's the one it's called. So you don't have that anymore. There's actually PvP vendors coming in Shadowlands. There's loads of mixed opinions on that so far, but I think it actually might be quite decent if they implement it in the right way. So now you actually get your Gladiator's Medallion from the PvP vendor, which I actually prefer. And there's a choice of 3 different PvP talents. So let me jump straight into it. PvP talents, right? You have Bane of Fragility, which is a curse. So we don't get that baseline, but it's okay. It's a curse that reduces the target's maximum health by 15%. That's already implemented into the game in Live WoW, so it's basically the same. Deathbolt, already mentioned that. Now PvP talent, some situations you might be wanting to go that for the extra finishing power, but I would have liked to see it on an instant cast time. Overall, I think it's quite solid though. Not going to lie, you might want to spec into that. Soul Shatter, basically the same. I wouldn't really go that too much. Increases... what's this? Consumes all of your corruption effects on the 5 nearest enemies within 40 yards, dealing 10% of the maximum health. Wait. Soul Shard, you gain Soul Shard. Whoa, hold up. 1 sec. Sorry, I just sneezed. But, basically, hold up. So you don't get the haste buff anymore from this, I don't think, which kind of sucks. But you get a Soul Shard back, which could be quite decent, but then it takes away your dots. There's actually more reward playing Soul Shard now than there was in BFA, because obviously the amount of dots you could get out in BFA, you'd like 5 Unstable Afflictions, right? You can have 3 on another target, Phantom Singularity, Agony Corruption on everybody. And then when you Soul Shard out, it just takes all your dots, and then the dots are no longer. But now this actually could be okay, just to get your Soul Shard regeneration. Maybe in RBGs this could be actually quite decent to work with. Gateway Mastery, explained this earlier, increases the range of your demonic gateway and reduces the cast time, and also reduces the cooldown. Very, very nice. Rotten DK is the exact same. Each time you deal damage with Drain Life, increases the duration of your Unstable Affliction, Corruption, and Agony on the target by 1 second. Not too bad. Bane of Shadows. This is what I was talking about earlier, as I'm aware. I think I said the wrong name now that I think about it. Oh, it's because I called it Curse of Shadows. I think they may have renamed it to Bane of Shadows, but I could be wrong. However, basically it's another curse. Maybe that's why. I think it was Curse of Fragility and Curse of the Shadows. But I think they've changed it because obviously you get Curse baseline. Don't want to confuse players. I think that's what it is. But basically, Bane of Shadows, 30-second cooldown, instant cast, magical damage over time effects will strike the target for additional 20% of the damage as Shadow. I can actually see this being good. Not even kidding. No jokes aside. Jokes aside, I actually think this could be good. Especially with Malfric Rupture, just deals more shadow damage and it could be decent. So maybe you could try it. I think this works if you have a curse up as well. So it could be decent. You also have Essence Drain, which is the exact same. You have Casting Circle, which is kind of, I think, the exact same too. Amplify Curse, which is brand new. Can't wait for this. Basically, it amplifies all your curses you have. So basically, if I sum up, Curse of Exhaustion now reduces the target's movement speed by an additional 20%. It was 50, so now it's 70. Curse of Tongues increases casting time by an additional 30%. That's right, so instead of having a 30% casting time increase, you now have a 60% increase. And then Curse of Weakness, enemy is unable to critical strike you. Very, very nice. Or just critical strike in general. Rampant Afflictions, very nice. So, like I explained earlier, Unstable Affliction can now be applied to up to 3 targets, but no more than 3 targets. So if you don't play this, then you can have 1 Unstable Affliction out at a time. But if you play this, you can actually have 3, but no more than 1 on 1 target, if that makes sense. So it has to be split across 3 different targets. Nether Ward, exact same, just reflect spells back to the enemy. And then you also have Demon Armor, which increases your HP by 5% and your armor by 90%. So I'll take Demon Armor off right now. My HP is 26,360. Put it on, we're at 27,678. Increases it by a little bit. I can see it being good into melee and everything, but it might not be as significant anymore. But overall, I can see it actually being decent. But yeah, that's basically the talents and going through like the new spells and everything. Overall, if I just sum up though, guys, obviously this is only on the PTR, it's not the beta, so things are going to change anyway. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a solid, there's solid changes definitely, and overall it could be definitely beneficial for Affliction Warlocks to have all these new curses and all these new spells. So Affliction, you might see a lot of people play it. Everyone's had mixed reviews on Affliction though. I feel like there's too much casting involved with Affliction right now. The changes that are what I would have liked to see is Deathbolt be on an instant cast and Howl of Terror being on an instant cast too. But if we didn't get those, then maybe something like Foul Flame. So if you do get locked on Shadow, then you can use your Foul Flame to start doing damage periodically while you're waiting for your kick to end. Well, your lockout to end. And then obviously Blood Fury used to be amazing. Probably wouldn't work too much in Shadowlands because people can reflect it, but they could do that in like Mists of Pandaria anyway. Basically, if you don't know what Blood Fury did, is if you have it up and an enemy hit you, they actually get feared for a couple seconds. Obviously, if that's up, and they can reflect it back onto you, so you get feared. Like, I think it's actually quite a good spell that I would have liked to see something like similar to that or something. And also, I would have liked to see like potentially like a Shadow Fury instant cast, because right now, if you want to get CC, you have to cast Fear, you have to cast Shadow Fury, your Pet Charm, and then there's just so much going on, right? And then to get your damage out, you have to cast Unstable Affliction, Agony, and Corruption's instant, which is great, and so is Phantom Singularity, but you have to cast your Unstable Affliction, Malfric Rapture all the time, and then also your Drain Life, which, you know, people can just kick you so easily, so you have to try and fake a lot. But that doesn't matter too much with the Shadow Fury instant cast. But what I was thinking, right? Unstable Affliction, I really like this change. I think it's solid, but I would have liked the idea of having to be able to put one Unstable Affliction on every single target. So for example, say if there's 4 targets in front of me, I would have liked to be able to put Unstable Affliction on each target. So 1 on every single one, but no more than 1 on each target. So I don't want to have 2 Unstable Afflictions on the left guy, middle guy, right guy, and then the far right guy. I would have preferred just to have 1 on each. And I think that would have been a little bit better, because then you can actually get a load of spread pressure out. But I like what they've done with Malfric Rupture, but I just feel like it might get boring too fast because you're literally just spamming that one ability over and over and over again, and I can see the rotation being a little bit boring. But overall, I actually think it's a solid change, and I actually really like Blizzard for doing that. If we had Soul Swap Man, being able to take the dots from one target and basically mirror them onto another would have been absolutely phenomenal, but unfortunately we don't have that. Same with like Shadow, what's it? I'm trying to think of it in my head. Shadowburn, that's it. That would have been awesome. But I just really hope Blizzard have addressed the mana issues in regards to Affliction. I know I'm coming up to like 40 minutes and I still got loads of content to show you guys in this video, so I do apologise for it being long, but like literally, in my opinion, Warlocks run out of mana too fast. In BFA, I ran out of mana so quick because I'm playing the Drain Life build, so I'm literally spending 3,000 mana per tick. This says 300 mana now, but I don't know if it's the equivalent. It might be the equivalent. How much mana do I actually lose? So say if I use 3, how much mana does this take? Yeah, okay. It's not too bad, but I would have just liked to be able to have like Ember Tap and stuff like that back and just get my mana up, but it's not a big deal at the end of the day. Alright guys, I'm going to actually jump into some arena games if there's obviously games going up, and then I'll also jump into Battleground to end this video, so I really do hope you enjoy it, and let's jump straight into that content. Oh, this is going to be fun guys, we're against double Windwalker Monk. How would this go? Hopefully it'll go decent. Alright guys, we're against double DPS right now, a double Monk. Hopefully we can actually win against this. Going to start off by dotting everybody up, put the weakness on, going to reflect, going to use my claw here into an essence. Going to wall this. Malfric Rapture. Here comes Karma. Going to fear him. Fear him again. Hopefully I can kill him. That's one dead. Come on! Into a Mortal Coil. Into a full fear. Start dotting him up. Just let my dots tick. Run away. Get out of this. Pet charm him. Oh no. Damn it, man. Monks do so much damage. Alright guys, this is going to be a fun game. We're doing 3s right now. The enemy has a priest on the team. They can thought steal me, I think it's called, and steal my fear, so fingers crossed they're not going to do that. Dominic Gateway. Right, now this is, you know, this is where I can showcase everything to you guys. Get out of this with my root. Just going to Mortal Coil this guy. It's hard to play without add-ons. Damn, this guy does a lot of damage. He just got exploded! What the hell? DKs do a ton of damage. Wait, I did the same amount. Okay. Nice. Alright guys, we have another game of 3s here. We are against Enhancement, Shaman, Unholy DK, and in fact Resto Druid. Hopefully we can get the win. Yeah, I think we can, to be fair. Alright guys, let's do this. Put the gateway up there. Put my portal down. And start doing the dots. I don't have Trinket though, which is kind of bad. I'm going to actually wall up high. I'm going to reflect. TP back. Gonna... Oh. I just wasted my kick. Big damage. Sammy died. Now, I need to start utilising my, my curses a lot more, but I'm telling you, I don't know if it's because of our shaman, but overall damage feels great. I think it's actually because of Affliction. I'm not even gonna lie. Now, obviously, the damage representation isn't accurate, mainly because if you think about it, I've got traits and essences, so the damage isn't great, but overall, man, it's quite good. Come on. Drain life. Nice. Good job, guys. It's just DK again, man. I've been in a couple games with him so far. It's him again. He's like, huh? You again? We're against Affliction Warlock, Sub-Rogue, and not sure on the healer right now. There's no healer. Okay, then. Unfortunately for them guys, a healer didn't join, but I just want to basically show what Warlock can do. You ready for this? I'm going to get sapped. Didn't get sapped. Big damage. Walling. Big damage now. You ready for this? Boom. But yeah, he just left. Straight up left the game. I'm telling you, Affliction Warlocks feel nice. I don't know what it is. Although you get locked out quite a bit, I still think it's quite decent. I'm actually going to try out the Amplified Curse here, guys. I have nowhere to pull it, but we'll just shove it there for now. See how that goes, because it could actually be quite decent, I think. Overall, guys, Affliction Warlocks seem okay. When I first tested this, I was just it's a bit skeptical, but they seem alright at the moment. I'm also playing Amplified Curse just to test it out too. This guy's called Only Dot Boys. Well, we're here for one reason. Gonna mount up. Hopefully I can actually get combat. I don't want to step into the middle of the map. Ready? It's fine by me. I'm still getting stacks of my drain life. Ready? Oh, he's too fast. Oh, thanks. I'm actually going to DARP his pet then. Yeah, look how much damage Malfric Rupture does. Does so much. They found our healer, and our healer's dead in one hit. Good to know. Alright guys, I'm actually going to try out Amplify Curse here. This DK's funny, man. Keep queuing up with him. You know what? I kind of want to use Pet Charm, but I'm going to go with Void Walker. Nah, they're going on a healer. I'm going to say careful. They will go on you, healer. Let's do this. I just want to gain combat, but I don't know if it's worth. They're going to try and find our healer, which we kind of got to be careful about. Put Agony on him immediately. Don't fall for it, guys. Big damage. What the... Wow! Rogues are busted. What the... Rogues are busted. I'm keep getting into the same team now, so I don't think I'm going to be able to do anything, unfortunately. Sub-rogues need to be sorted, boys. Damn. Guys, I've been trying to record this video, right? And turns out I forgot to hit record because I'm very smart. God damn it, I've literally been in queue for a Battleground, right? For over an hour and a half, and I've been talking non-stop, and then I just realised that I forgot to hit record. Damn. But guys, what is up, man? Hopefully you enjoyed the short, well, I say short commentary. Hopefully you enjoyed the commentary nonetheless. That was just my insights into, obviously, Affliction. And now we're in a Battleground, and I'm just trying to basically test everything out and basically give my insight into Affliction right now. This guy's going nowhere. Yeah, nice. But what I was basically saying before I actually hit record of this video, I wanted to show you something really cool. So basically, if you go to try and transmog, you know Legion artifacts? You can actually, and you know how they're tailored towards a specific spec? Well now, if you go in your staff tab, you can actually equip different hidden artifacts from the different specializations. So I'm Affliction, and I can equip the Destro ones. But for some reason, the demo ones are not there. And I think the demo ones are not there purely for the fact that, obviously, it uses like a skull. So I think they didn't want to, obviously, implement that into the game, well, for Affliction stuff. But I could be wrong. You'll probably be able to do that. Maybe it's just a bug. You never know. But I thought that was a cool iteration by Blizzard, man. I just can't believe I forgot to hit record. I really can't. But nonetheless, we're here now. And we still have 11 minutes of this Battleground. We've got a couple kills, I think. So fingers crossed we can actually test Affliction. I am liking Affliction. Now, like, I played this yesterday or the day before. I can't remember, right? So I was on the PTR testing Affliction. And I don't know how I felt about it, right? Because obviously it's the PTR at the end of the day. And not everything's balanced. Especially because there's traits and essences and everything. And you can't really get, like, a full grasp of what Shadowlands is like. However, I find that Affliction Warlocks are actually okay now. The other day I thought Affliction's not going to be great, too much casting involved, it's not going to be the best, but at the moment I'm actually thinking there's a lot of potential for Affliction because you have so much rot damage now, and obviously with the Malfric Rapture change I actually think it's really, really nice. Watch this big damage. Oh, that guy just got annihilated. What's going on? I'm going to banish this pet. There we go. Come on, Warlock. Let's 1v1. Yeah. I know what his plan is. That's the guy who went onto the roof, wasn't it? Kind of farming these guys at the moment. And I feel bad because I think they've been waiting an hour and a half to get into a Battleground as well. So it's not great. Alright, come on, man. Let's do it. Here are my talents, by the way, guys. This guy's gonna die, I think. Come back here. Nice. But yeah, just to basically sum things up, right? Affliction's decent. I like the change to Unstable Affliction. I find that a really solid change, and Malfric Rapture has its potential, definitely, especially when you want to rot a load of people down. I feel that it could definitely be really good, so I can't wait to obviously test this in rated PvP once, you know, the actual expansion comes out itself. And look at this damage. Watch this Warlock. He's getting obliterated. It's so good, man. Like, Affliction definitely has its potential. Imagine doing 3s with a Shadow Priest or something. The rot damage is going to be insane. And obviously you can get your casts out really fast as well with your curses. Just overall, I think it's a really nice choice. Gonna slow this guy down. Here comes my dots. Malfric Rapture time. Oh, it's so nice. I can just kill him while running away. While he's running away. As long as he's in my line of sight, I can literally just demolish him. And that's what I love, man. It doesn't matter where you are, boys. Malfric Rapture's coming. And it's coming in hard. Oh, insane. Alright, this could be my downfall. Teleport. Oh, no! I would never go down. Alright, guys, I'm going to die. Yep. Alright, boys, we're back. But overall, to make Affliction a little bit better, in my opinion, I feel that it needs, like, another school. Like a spell school, or just some more spells that you can use while you've been shadow locked. So for example, like I mentioned earlier, like Foul Flame, so maybe Soul Swap would be quite decent, but obviously you can't use that if you... Hold up. Can't use that obviously if you are interrupted. Ouch, Jesus, Hunter's hit hard, man. Jeez. This Warlock's dead. Come on, he's gonna die! Heroes never die. Yeah, but I'm liking the changes so far. I haven't tried Demo and Destro out yet. I have a feeling they're going to be decent. And just overall, I'm looking forward to Shadowlands. Now, It could either be a really terrible expansion, or it could be one of the best expansions we've seen. Who knows? Oh my god, he hit me for a ton there. You see that? I'm going to heal myself. I'm getting healing too, which is great. Maverick Rapture. I like this new spell though. I actually really like it. I just like the fact that you don't spam Unstable Affliction anymore. I just don't like that you can only have 3 Unstable Afflictions up at a time if you have that PvP talent. Otherwise, it's just 1. So I don't really like that idea, but overall, I think it's a solid choice what Blizzard have done. Big damage. Ready? We're getting the damage out. Tongues. Here comes the damage. Boom! 3Ks. I'm hitting 3Ks on him right now. He's just dead. He's literally just... What is this game? I'm not complaining. I think this may be the expansion for Affliction, guys. I'm not even kidding. If Blizzard have done this right, it could be decent. Now, like I said, the numbers are not accurate. I have essences. I have traits. But I'd be curious to know what it's actually like on the beta itself. And obviously, when you don't queue into rogues, it's quite nice because they're actually really broken right now. I just caught him. There you go, he's going to die. I'm going to Storm Bolt off that. Maverick Rapture time, baby! Essence. Bloop. Damn, his Vortex lasted for ages. What was that? Dotting up all the pets right now. Okay. Hunter came out from nowhere. Maverick Rapture. It hits for a ton. Oh, I just killed the Warlock. He soul-zoned. Oh, curses are back. Demonic circles back. We got our gateway. We have everything. What's not to love right now? Come on. Big damage. There's a hunter down here, guys. What are we going to do about him? We're going to put a curse on and he's going to run. He's slowed. He had to disengage and run away. 4 minutes left of this battleground. Been very intense, man. Got up the pet. Nice. I need to sort out my bars, and obviously I need to get add-ons for the PTR, but Shadowlands is around the corner, so obviously I won't be playing the PTR too much. I'm just basically trying to test out Affliction today. See what it's capable of. Hey, come back here. Alright, they're working as a team now. Finally. Trying to dot them up. Maverick Rapture. He reflected it. I'm just going to try and run before they get to me. Can I put? See ya! Meow! Good job. Now I can mount up. Go over the team again. Regroup. It's because everybody's on the left side of the house. Nice. Oh, I can't wait though. There's going to be loads of situations where I can actually outplay the enemy with my demonic circle. It's going to be so nice. Alright, let's dot these two up. I feel like damage outside of Maverick Rapture's not really great though, in my personal opinion. I could be wrong, obviously, because I'm not max level and everything's subject to change because it's just the PTR, right? But I don't know. That's my initial thoughts. I feel like dot-wise, it's not great, but if you can get your Maverick Rapture off and they don't interrupt you, then you just do so much damage. Watch this. Maverick Rapture, Maverick Rapture, Maverick Rapture, dead. I'm curious to see what my damage is too, like my damage breakdown. Ready? Big damage. I'm going to slow this one down. Big damage on my drain life. Gonna get into this hunter now. Put the slow on him instead, so he can't run. Refresh my dots. Oh, too late. Too late to the party. Get out of here. Maverick Rapture. Nice. Interrupted him there. Hit him with the slow. Use my name racial. Malfric Rapture into a drained life, into a stun. Unstable Affliction. Couldn't get it, unfortunately. Sorry about the background noise. My family literally just got home. Big damage. Malfric Rapture time then. See, I can see them, so I can still continue to do Malfric Rapture, which is great, man. I don't think there's any range on Malfric Rapture, man. As long as you can see the enemy, I think it's great. There's probably going to be some bugs with it though, like some exploits. I can definitely see. Oh my god. What happens, right, if you go into a battleground? No. You go into a major city, you use absolute corruption at everybody, and then you Malfric Rapture. Like, for example, you know that old exploit, right? I got a thought in my head, right? You know that old exploit where people would use absolute corruption on target dummies, and then they would go into the major city and one-shot everybody? What happens if you do that? I don't know if it's been fixed or not. What happens if you do that, but then you use Malfric Grasp and one-shot everybody? Who knows, man? That's kind of an idea that I kind of want to try, but now that I've said it out there, people are probably going to try it. Probably won't do anything, but hey-ho. Big damage. 14 seconds left of this battleground. Let's end on some good fashion. End with a couple Malfric Raptures. Come on. Boom! Draw. What the hell? We got 15 and 1. Guys, I'm telling you, Warlocks are back. Look at this. Top 3 on our team were Warlocks. Easy, man. Damage-wise, I was on the top with 3.2 million, 15 and 1, 675k healing. I'm telling you, Affliction is back, boys. I tried, like, doing this the other day, like, recording and everything, and in my opinion, I was just like, Affliction's not that great, and they could be better, blah, 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 blah. In my opinion, I actually think Affliction could be good if you can get your casts off. If Affliction was more dot-based and you didn't actually have to cast that much, it would be even better. But because you have to cast, obviously Affliction is probably going to require a higher skill cap, and it's also going to obviously take a lot of time to master, because just think about it, you've got to cast your Fear, your Unstable Affliction, you have to spam Malfric Rapture and make sure you get that off all the time, you got to make sure you CC the enemy and kite properly. There's so much going on, but if you can actually cast, you do so much damage. For example, see the corruption in, agony, 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 Unstable Affliction, Unstable Affliction, Unstable Affliction. Here comes the burst into a Dark Glare. Watch this damage, you ready? Watch this spread pressure. The damage is unreal. Look at that, man. Malfric Rapture just hits for a ton. It hit him for 3Ks. It's insane. And if you obviously play Haunt as well, you can get your Shadow Embrace. Obviously, it's not working because I'm not level 58, but it could be good. But sorry for the long video today. It's extremely long, and I do apologise, but I had to get everything off my chest today. And I really do think Affliction's back, man. I probably am going to play Affliction in Shadowlands, but I haven't tried Demo or Destro yet. I'm going to record a video on those as well. It won't be as long, I don't think, because obviously Affliction is my main spec, so I wanted to go all out on today's video. But I do think the other two specs are going to be good, and maybe I'll play, you know, those specs as well. Who knows, man? But guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. Let me know what you think of Affliction. Like I said, Affliction is probably going to be my main spec again in Shadowlands. Like, I always main Affliction. It's awesome, and I have a feeling it's going to be really, really good. But guys, thank you for watching. If you made it to the end, you guys are absolutely amazing, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support recently. If you liked today's video, then make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and also subscribe to the channel. I've been Xrathis. I'll catch you in the next one. So, peace!